Hi there, welcome to my channel, Green Energy Insight. Today's big question, how do solar panels actually work? There are over 2 million solar panels installed in the US as of 2019. And even though most people know how solar panels work in the sense that you put them up and they generate electricity, not everyone knows the ins and outs of how converting sunlight to electricity actually happens. So let's dig into it. We'll first look at how a single solar panel works. Then we'll talk about how many panels work together to power your home. We'll also talk about inverters, batteries, and other important factors like what happens if your panels make more electricity than you need, or what happens when it's cloudy out. Before we dive in, I want to point out that you don't need a science or engineering degree to figure out how solar panels work. If you can understand basic algebra, then you're good to go. The science behind solar panels is really not that difficult. A solar panel is made of solar cells. Cells are typically made of silicon, which is great at conducting electricity. In fact, silicon is second only to silver in terms of electrical conductivity. Each cell is made of two layers of silicon, an N-type and a P-type. We won't get into exactly how these layers are created, but it's pretty simple. Boron atoms are added to the pure silicon to create the P-type layer, and phosphorus atoms are added to create the N-type layer. This makes the P-type layer positively charged and the N-type layer negatively charged. Think of it kind of like magnets. Opposites attract. So how do solar panels convert sunlight to electricity? Well, when a photon of light, which is a particle of light, hits the solar cell, it can knock an electron loose. Electrons carry a negative charge, and as we said before, we have a positively charged side and a negatively charged side separated by a little bit of space. When the electron is knocked loose, it naturally wants to go to the positive side. When we build a pathway for that electron to flow through, we create a small amount of electricity. Electricity is simply the flow of electrons, so that tiny packet of light was able to create a tiny flow of electrons, which is electricity. When you add up the flow of electrons across many cells, you create enough of a current to be useful. Here's a video from Minute Earth that shows how one solar cell turns sunlight into electricity. I highly recommend checking it out. Solar panels produce direct current or DC electricity. Your home appliances run on alternating current or AC. So how do you convert from one to the other? That's where the inverter comes in. Inverters are installed outside your home, usually near the breaker box, and they convert your panel's DC electricity to AC electricity for your home. Now let's take what we learned about how one solar cell works and scale it up. How do lots of solar panels work together to power your home? Let's take a closer look at a typical residential solar panel. A standard residential solar panel has around 60 solar cells in it, arranged in a 6 by 10 grid. Remember, each cell produces a small amount of electricity, so the total power produced depends on the number of cells. A typical residential panel produces between 300 and 400 watts of electricity, which is enough to power a few homes at once. Each panel also has a positive and a negative terminal, so instead of having thousands of wires running out of a single panel, the positive and negative terminals are wired together within the panel to create a positive and negative bus bar. These bus bars allow multiple panels to be wired together easily and safely. Multiple panels wired together in a solar array are often referred to as a string. This is because all the panels are lined up in a row, much like a string of Christmas lights. The DC electricity from your panels goes through the inverter, which converts it to AC electricity for your home. Once you have the AC electricity, you can plug in your appliances and devices. You can also run your major home appliances with electricity generated by your panels. Things like air conditioners, water heaters, furnaces, and dryers use a lot of electricity, but modern high-efficiency versions use much less. For example, heat pump water heaters are up to 3 times more efficient than traditional tank-style water heaters. Another thing you may hear about are solar microinverters. Instead of wiring all your panels together and running a single cable to a central inverter, microinverters are installed on each panel. The microinverter converts the panel's DC electricity to AC and sends it to your home. The advantage of this approach is that each panel can be monitored individually, so if one isn't performing well, it can be replaced without affecting the rest of the system. Also, you can keep adding microinverters as you add new panels. The disadvantage is cost. Microinverters add about 25% to the overall cost of your solar panel system. Okay, now we've covered the basics of how solar panels work. Let's answer some common questions. What if my panels generate more electricity than I need? You can store extra electricity in a solar battery for use during cloudy periods or at night. Many newer solar panel systems come with battery storage built in. For example, Tesla's solar roof tiles include a battery. You can also install a standalone battery, such as those from Sonnen, LG, or Generac. Some states offer rebates and tax credits for installing battery storage, so check with your local utility company. What happens if it's too cloudy for solar panels to work? Solar panels do work in cloudy conditions, just not as efficiently as when the sun is shining. On a bright, sunny day, solar panels can generate about 100% of their rated output. On an overcast day, they can generate between 10 and 25% of their rated output, so solar panels will still generate some electricity on a cloudy day, but it's a good idea to have some battery storage so you have electricity to use when the sun isn't shining. Do solar panels pay for themselves? Yes, solar panels pay for themselves over time. Most solar panels last 20 to 25 years. So divide the cost of your system by the number of kilowatt hours it generates per year to find out how long it will take to pay for itself. For example, a $5,000 system that generates 1,500 kilowatt hours per year will pay for itself in about 3 years. Are solar panels worth the cost? Solar panels are becoming increasingly affordable. Check with your state and local governments for rebates and tax credits. Also, ask your friends and neighbors for recommendations on reputable installers. If you're still on the fence about whether solar panels are right for you, consider signing up for a virtual tour with a local solar installer to see how solar panels work in person. And that's how solar panels work. As you can see, it's not that complicated. By understanding how solar panels work, you can make informed decisions about your energy future. Thank you for watching today's video. We hope you learned something new and gained a better understanding of how solar panels work. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on our latest content. You can also check out our website on www.greenenergyinsight.com for more insights on renewable energy and sustainable living. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.